Content warning for talk of sexual abuse, assault, and rape, and the overall treatment of women. Hey guys, welcome back to Purgatory. And I have a series of questions for you guys. Why is it that women are drawn so much towards romance and fiction and fantasy? Why is it that women are the ones who write the most romance and fiction and fantasy? Why is fanfiction mostly woman-dominated? Why is fanfiction usually about romance? Why do women flock more towards erotic reads while men don't? Well, unfortunately, there is one very simple answer to all of these questions. Women write and consume romance in a way that men don't because they have to create their own loving men. It is no secret that this world does not look highly upon women and does not care for how they are treated. Immense misogyny through the ages has caused most women's biggest fear today, the fear of being sexually assaulted. Even when they're scared of other things like men walking late at night, getting kidnapped, wearing a certain outfit, certain makeup, certain hairstyle, it's all because of the same thing, the fear of sexual assault. Beyond that, because of women being seen as lesser, they are constantly in the wrong. Between being a slut, a prude, too girly, too masculine, too loud, too quiet, too aggressive, too coy, too seductive, too shy, too manipulative, too boring, too cold, too caring, too dumb, too intelligent, women can do nothing right and are talked down to by almost every man they come across. And the more marginalized you are, the worse the treatment. Remember this word, kids. Intersectionality. It'll help you understand a lot of things. Obviously, this hurts and affects women. They don't want any of this, and they've been very open about how much they long for a true, deep romantic love full of devotion, adoration, gentleness, kindness, thoughtfulness, love. The problem with this? These things are seen as feminine, and when we think of feminine, we think of woman, and to be a woman is bad. Therefore, femininity is bad, therefore, men refuse to act in such a way. Women are tired of abuse, manipulation, games, and disrespect in relationships with men, so they create their own. Our world is so tainted when it comes to how women are viewed and treated that they have to come up with entirely new ones through fantasy so that they can dream and imagine a world in which they are genuinely loved and respected. The most popular example of this right now is through a character in a game called Baldur's Gate 3 named Astarion. You may have heard the immense love that the internet has for this man through the past several weeks, months, years.
I suppose we can.
Okay, whatever is between us, we need to end it. No.
There is nothing I'd like more. I do rather like that, you know.
Yes, he likes me.
I shall be.
He likes
Let's
me.
Let ourselves come real. I want us to be something real.
Yes, thank you. Oh my, that was so.
Sir,
don't talk like that. You're making me more attracted to you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Oh my god.
I'm not a bad person. I'm only playing cool to get Astarion to like me.
Oh, praise the absolute!
Astarion disapproves. I'm reloading.
Oh no, get off me.
Now, I saw you on the ship.
Oh no, please don't do it.
I?
I probably should. I should probably get out of his grasp. I should. The ground is feeling mighty comfortable right now, I'm gonna be honest.
Dark power inside your body, if it's all the same to you. You could have talked to me before things got murderously bad, you know.
I'm gonna need 3 to 5 business days to get over that one.
And there is a good reason for this. Astarion is charming. He compliments you freely and often. He's more effeminate than the majority of men, and thus feels less threatening and more safe. And women have been open in how much they love feminine men. He's been sexually abused, and thus not only understands the pain and trauma that comes from it, but openly talks about how his body was just a tool and his consent and wants didn't matter.
We want both of you, silly, at the same time.
Sorry, Pet. I'm not quite comfortable with doing this again yet.
With every woman going through sexual harassment, abuse, and or assault at least once in their life, Astarion feels safe. Because he understands how bad it is and talks openly about how much he wants his body and agency back. The biggest complaint amongst women today is the immense misogyny in men and how they make them feel like prey. How they abuse their size advantage and their strength advantage, and how their displays of today's perception of masculinity are fearful and anxiety-inducing. The only thing you have to fear from Astarion is that he's a hungry vampire. He doesn't want to sexually abuse you, he doesn't want to bully and harass you. Why? Because he gets it. And because he's more gentle than he originally shows. What's interesting is that one of the main things that women fear from men is their anger. Any sign of their anger is anxiety-inducing because it rarely ends well for the woman around them. However, Astarion shows his upset clearly and, to be honest, often, so why are women so drawn to him anyway? While men usually show their anger through violence and towards the women around them, between sexually abusing the women, hitting the women, screaming, punching holes in the walls, Astarion doesn't. He does yell, he does raise his voice, he even moves himself around upsetly, but it's not threatening. He quickly calms down, he doesn't show any violence towards you, and he's usually, instead of aggressive movements, flamboyant and effeminate in his actions. It is clear that he has no want to harm you, only to get his feelings across and to have a bit of a fit. And we associate effeminate as safe and masculine as dangerous because that's the world that we live in today. When Astarion is angry, he doesn't show us danger, and his genuine anger actually stems from a good reason, such about talking about his enslaver and abuser, something else that women can relate to, the anger towards your abuser, especially in a sexual sense. And the other times, he's not angry, just upset, and shows that through having a bit of a non-threatening fit before cooling down and immediately moving on. Because of his own sexual trauma and abuse, he doesn't push for sex, and depending on what you choose in the game, even admits that he doesn't even know if he wants to have sex at all.
I don't think I want you to think of me in terms of sex. I don't know if I want anyone to.
Because it's never been an actual choice of his, but something he always felt that he had to do.
I spent 200 years using my body to lure pretty things back for my master. What I wanted, how I felt about what I was doing, it never mattered. You could have asked me to do the same. To throw myself at her. What I wanted, be damned. But you didn't. And I'm grateful.
Even when you are aggressive towards him, usually for good reasons, but not always, he doesn't even reciprocate that aggression. He may get upset, but not aggressive. Astarion is sweet, he constantly gives you compliments and calls you by sweet names. And he has the one thing that women often complain about men not having today. Poeticism. It has always been common that women are thought to be the most creative when it comes to writing poetry and romance, when it comes to romance in general and art in general. Creating beautiful pieces and expressing their immense love and devotion towards their partner. While men get to say, I love you, and that's seen as peak romance. Ever heard of the phrase, the bar's on the floor? A lot of women, if not most women, wish for their male partner to put into profound word how much they are loved and why they are loved, but they know that it's so improbable that they settle for almost nothing and even view it as impossible to find. Astarion is what they've been looking for. He uses pretty words and flows them all together in a pretty little poem aimed at you in hopes of charm.
Here's my little treat, with their cheeks all flushed. You will come to my bed tonight, won't you? All these accolades from the tieflings are nothing compared to the sound of my name, cried from your lips. Let me give it another go. Every part of your perfect body whispers temptation. It's as if the gods made you just to ruin me. I can go all night with the flattery. But is that really all you want?
And it works. It's also a popular complaint that men don't know how to be charming and seductive, but rather blunt, like, hey girl, you're looking mighty sexy tonight. Meanwhile, Astarion knows how to charm, knows how to be seductive, and knows the importance of subtlety while also being straightforward. Instead of being a game or a hunt, it's a dance.
Come now. Don't be coy. Your body's already given you away. I could feel it as I was getting lost in your neck. Your little shakes of excitement. You enjoyed it, didn't you? We could take an evening to ourselves, get away from camp, get some privacy. I know somewhere quiet, somewhere intimate, somewhere we can indulge in each other. I just hope we don't have to wait too long before we can steal away. See you there, lover.
And one that he understands not wanting to perform, which is why he doesn't make you, but tries to entice you. For all that he is bold and confident and flirty, it is a giant cover-up for how self-conscious and scared he is. Yes, he is genuinely these things, but he is mostly scared. Scared of being enslaved again, scared of being used again, scared of being sexually assaulted again, scared of falling in love and being left behind, scared of falling in love and being abused, scared of being alone. He doesn't think much of himself.
Elven prostitutes. Again? It's rather embarrassing, dear.
As confident as he is, it's not in who he is as a person. It's in his manipulation, his power, his sex skills. He doesn't see himself as worthy enough to be with you, and he doesn't understand that you love him. He's constantly surprised and taken off guard when you express kindness and love towards him, and originally tries to cover it up, usually with humor, but as time goes on, he becomes less scared of your affection and more reciprocatory. Once he believes you at least somewhat in your love for him, he is not afraid to show off how pleased he is by this, and will indeed show it off, because while he doesn't think much of himself, he does think much of you. When you break up with him yourself, not long after building up a relationship together, he makes a not so much jokey joke about dying of a broken heart, and then admits that, despite having been with tens of thousands of people, he will remember you. Of course, all of this depends on what choices you pick, but his origin story and beliefs stay the same in the beginning. He just changes depending on what path you take. If you don't charm him or interest him enough, he won't be interested in you either sexually or romantically, which is very fair.
I'm flattered, but I think not. It's not you understand. It's me. I have standards.
If you choose a darker path and let him become evil,
You're mine. Remember? The tadpole is gone, which means your future is mine to decide.
I mean, what are you expecting? Him to be caring and loving after becoming evil? He's honest with you. He tells you that he was manipulating you in the beginning for safety, the only way that he knows how to survive, but that his plans fell apart because he developed feelings for you. That he genuinely just wants to be with you, despite not really knowing how to be with anyone, because being with anyone feels tainted because he's only been with someone under his enslaver's rule, and only for sex or manipulation purposes.
Even though I know things between us are different, being with someone still feels tainted. Still brings up those feelings of disgust and loathing. I don't know how else to be with someone. No matter how much I'd like to.
When you assure him that you care for him, he is surprised, and when you hug him, he's beyond taken aback, and you can tell that he's not used to love or affection. But after a moment, he hugs you back and tells you that he doesn't really know what you guys are doing or what comes next, but that what you have now is nice. He refuses to leave you when you show fear for possibly hurting him when you take the dark urge route, and make sure that you understand that he will make sure that you make it through this and end up okay.
I'm not afraid. Not of you. Not of your darkness, and not of our future. Cazador used his tortures to strike terror into me. But I've rarely been more afraid than on the night when I feared Baal had claimed you for good. I'm not going anywhere.
In Act 3 of the Dark Urge route, when Astarion realizes that you may never be free from your dark and dangerous urges, he is honest with you and tells you that there were times that he was so hungry that he just became a feral creature with no speech or reason, and that if you are to become that, then he can't stand to stay with you because it will remind him too much of himself. That he will enjoy your time together while it lasts, but eventually he will have to say goodbye. And no matter what you say to this, he gives you the same response.
In 1,000 years, when I've all but forgotten how to love yet again, you'll flit back into my heart. And I'll weep, wondering what happened to my mad love.
So what can we gather from his character? That he is a man who is afraid of being re-enslaved after years of forced sexual assault and manipulation, never being able to experience any relationship outside of that or a slave to his master, that he manipulates for safety, that he cares about others' consent because he knows what it's like to be treated by someone who doesn't.
I know what it's like to lose control over your own body.
That he's scared of being alone and being abused again, and that he is very adamant about how sexual abuse is wrong, even in his evil route. It really is no surprise that women would be so drawn to him when they face the most sexual abuse on the planet. They see themselves in him.
No. He didn't. I am still here. And I will fight him until I fight my last.
And a man who expresses truth, love, care, femininity, vulnerability, pride, and just someone who wants you to be happy. Astarion is literally almost everything that women want. Almost anything because he definitely isn't perfect and has plenty red flags, but he's part human. If he didn't have flaws, that would be quite concerning. And he's willing to work on them, with you, for you. Even if you break up with him later on, or manipulate and abuse him, and I'm gonna say it, sexually assault him, he is a healthier man than in the beginning. He accepts your decision to leave, he expresses that he will miss you and wish that it weren't so, but that it's your choice. If you abuse him, he will stand up for himself the next morning and tell you that you hurt him before leaving you himself. He is a changed and healthier man. But it's not just women that are so drawn to him, it's also queer people and gay men. One thing that women and queer people have in common is oppression and disrespect. Neither are seen as good, neither are seen as worthy of respect, neither are seen as intelligent, neither are seen as worthy of having basic human rights and autonomy over their own bodies. Of course people will be drawn towards someone as sweet and gentle and flamboyant and even queer as Astarion. Both queer people and women have in common the longing for something better. Mistreatment at the hands of men does not stop at women. Gay men go through horrific things at the hands of men. Among all minorities, their biggest common fear is cis men. Of course they'll be drawn towards a fictional character that's gentle and loving towards you, because they won't find it here. As long as the world continues to get worse, fantasy and fiction will always be on the rise. Because those affected will always dream and wish and hope and long for something better. Trust me, I know. I'm crying while writing the script. So as you watch more and more laws be put in place to strip away minorities' rights, keep an eye out for how art changes along the way. Because I guarantee you will see more fiction and fantasy as the people work their hardest to cope. I cannot find my hat, I have no idea where it is, so you will have to settle for the Grim Reaper upon my head. As per usual, remember to be a good person and not a bad one, because it is the one rule in this kingdom, and I won't see you, but you will see me next time, of course. And before I end this video, I just wanted to say free Palestine, and please educate yourself on the war on Gaza happening this second, either on your own or using the resources that I'm going to put either at the end screen or in the description. Also, please consider donating to one or some of the resources I put below as well. Stay safe, everyone, but also remember to keep your eye on Palestine. Thanks for watching. And how they display, God, this is so hard. This one line is kicking my ass. I am sweating more than anyone's ever sweat ever in the history of time right now.